Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Kameel Majdali.
We've been talking through the topic of abortion. It's so relevant in our society today. And just this last couple of segments, Kameel, a focus on what the Bible teaches and how we can glean what a pro-life position would be for a Christian. What else can we look at from the scriptures and take to ourselves for our understanding?
All right, we've looked at a variety of scriptures, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, Psalm 139, 13 to 16, Ephesians 2, verse 10, and Matthew 10, 30. How about some others? Okay, here's one, Matthew 19, verse 14. Matthew 19, 14, Jesus commands that the little children be brought to him, and no one was to forbid them, because of such is the kingdom of heaven. Now, of course, superficially we say, well, you were talking about children postnatal, out of the womb. But from God's point of view, when does that fetus become the child, or when does it become a person? We believe on the basis of the whole counsel of Scripture, it happens in the very beginning. It not only happens at conception, in one sense it happens before conception because of what God told Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Here, God is being hands-on here, forming us in the womb, but knowing us even before. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, this is the creation chapter, it affirms that male and female are made in the image of God. When do we become the image of God? Do we become image of God at the day of our birth? Or are we in the image of God even before birth? I think we could build a case that we're in the image of God from the first moment, the moment of conception. And then, of course, there's this final one that I want to offer. Genesis 9:6. Listen carefully. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man's blood he shall be shed, for in the image of God he made man. That includes women too. In the image of God. That's how precious it is to be God's image, that you are not to lay a hand on anyone, because it'll be life for life. I mean, this is implying capital punishment. That's a whole nother issue. But I guess my question to you, Neil, in light of all this is, could it be any clearer about when life begins?
Does it say to us, Kameel, that when you draw all of these different dimensions together, that there is not only a right, but a responsibility then to protect succeeding generations? And this would be a part of having a pro-life approach.
Well, we have to have a pro-life approach, not just when it comes to pregnancy, but when it comes to everything. The issue of the stem cells. And that is a very important issue, using stem cells for research to cure diseases. Some are arguing you've got to create embryos and experiment on them, and some are saying, no, you don't actually have to do it from created embryos. There's alternative means, because those embryos are technically the beginning of a human life. This whole issue is, we need to not just protect the unborn. We need to be exemplifying what a real life is, a life that God has designed. A real life by God is a life of godly strength, a life of godly principles. It's a life of abundant living. Remember that what the world does is very much life-destroying, through substance abuse and through lust and through pornography and through all these things that are actually tearing people apart. Pro-life affirms godliness, because godliness begets life itself.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Kameel Majdali from Teach All Nations. For more from Dr. Majdali, including books and DVDs on prophecy, Bible commentaries, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future, go to vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.